Professional down here in Houston, Texas. Today I will be leading us through 20 minutes of mobility work. All we're going to need today is a mat or a soft floor if you don't have a mat, very minimal equipment today. Before we get started, if you'll take a look at your screen, you will see some information there on our Fitness Center Benefits webinar. It is next Thursday, a week from today, at 10 a.m. Pacific time. That's just going to kind of go over details of all the benefits that you get with your for free with your Fitness Center memberships. As well as starting, I think, Monday, January 20th through February 28th, we have our Level Up Fitness and Wellness and Nutrition um, program going on. It's going to just kind of help you really level up and take your fitness to that next level this year. Okay, let me go ahead and stop sharing here. Let me highlight myself, and then we'll get to moving. If my computer will cooperate. There we go. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and kick my shoes off for today's work. Maybe not necessary, but I like my feet to be able to flex and grip the ground here. If we're working on mobility, I want the feet to work too. Okay, we're going to start in a quadruped position, nice and easy tabletop. We're going to start with a cat cow. Okay, so we're here, hands directly under the shoulders, knees under the hips. I'm going to dip my spine down towards the floor and pick my head up like a cow. And then I'm going to raise my spine up, rounding my back, tucking my chin down like a cat, a scared cat, if you will. And we're just going to flow back and forth here, really just kind of loosening up some of that musculature around the spine, hips, shoulders a little bit as well. Breathing through this. You'll kind of notice if you're looking at the screen, I'm shifting my feet from flexed here to pointed here. And really, it's just preference here. My foot pointed was giving me a cramp, so that's why I tucked my toes under. And one more time here. Okay, we're going to stay in this quadruped position here. We're going to go back to a neutral position. We're going to do a lateral leg swing. Okay, so if I'm on all fours, I'm just going to extend my right leg out. I'm actually going to move this so I don't kick my water bottle over. I'm going to extend my right leg out. So I am got 3 points of contact on the floor, and then you add this foot back here, and I'm just going to swing it out here. And then back to that neutral position. And I'm going to do this just a handful of times here, really feeling that stretch in my glute, my hip flexor, my adductor, everything kind of around that hip and upper leg area. Nice and controlled. My leg is staying straight the whole time. It is just oscillating, if you will. Keeping that back flat, right? So your core is engaged as well. You may notice your foot is able to travel up higher the more of these we do. One more on this side. Okay, back to that quadruped position. We're going to do the exact same thing on the opposite side here. Let me scoot away from this wall a little bit. Again, 3 points of contact, extend that leg out, add that foot for the fourth, and then swing it out. Nice and controlled movements here. There we go. Keep working here. If you find yourself get a little off balance, reset yourself and let's keep that work moving. There we go. One more time here. Okay. Ooh, those arms working a little bit, supporting that body. So shake that out if you need to. We're going to go ahead and move into a kneeling position. I'm on my knees here. I'm going to start with my right leg, picking my right leg up. So a nice 90-degree angle here, 90-degree angle here, foot placed below that front knee, that back knee, that downed knee placed below my hips here. What I'm going to do is take my hands and place them on the floor. So my right leg's forward, my right hand is inside that right leg on the floor here, all right? I'm going to extend that back leg back a little bit, just kind of scooting it across the floor. If you want to get into a full lunge like this, you can, but that's not fully necessary. You can kind of just be an extended kneeling lunge here. I'm going to take my right hand now because my right knee is forward. I'm going to drive that elbow down, really getting a nice rotation in my spine. Then I'm going to open it up towards the sky here. To pause at each end of this range of motion. I'm going to pause at the bottom with my elbow down towards the mat. And then I'm going to open it up and pause at the top just for a moment here. Really nice controlled movements. Allowing your upper body to rotate. We're really getting a nice twist in the spine here. And one more rep on this side. Bring both hands back down to the floor. Back to a tabletop position, up to your knees, and we're going to transfer sides here. So I'm going to switch which leg I got forward. My left one's forward now. Same setup, foot below that front knee, that downed knee below my hip. And then I'm going to place my hands on the floor, left hand inside that left leg. Oof, I can definitely already tell my left side's a little bit tighter here. Let's go ahead and scoot that back leg back a little bit, get this a nice long kneeling lunge or into a full lunge position if you want to kind of up the ante a little bit here. Left hand, if my left leg's forward, drive that elbow down, allow for that rotation. Pause at the bottom, open it up, pause at the top. Keep breathing through these moves. Remember, pause at the top, pause at the bottom. Nice movements here. Big range of motion. Working on that mobility. And one more. Okay. Hands back down to the mat. Get back to that tabletop position here. Those lateral leg swings helped get back into that tabletop position right there. I definitely felt it in my hips. Okay, we're going to get back into a kneeling position here. Right leg forward. What I'm going to do here is just kind of scoot my front foot out a little bit here. So my right foot is a little bit in front of my right knee. My downed knee is still below my hip, but notice how my back toes are tucked here. My foot is not extended, pointing like this. Back toes are tucked. So what I'm going to do is push my hips down and forward towards that front heel, really driving that knee over the toe there. And then I'm going to flow back into a runner stretch. So I'm going to flow back. This is the reason we have the back toe tucked, and support my weight on that back foot. Reach for that toe, hold for a second, and then we're back forward. We're going to flow back and forth here. Just a handful of times. Same thing as with that rotation we were just doing, pausing at each end of the range of motion here. Control your breathing. And one more. Push those hips down and forward. I'm going to hold a little bit longer on this one. Shift the weight back. Same thing. Once we get into this runner's stretch position, we're going to hold here for just a moment. Let that hamstring and top of the calf really, really stretch out. If you can get to those toes, get there. Shift your weight back neutral. Okay, set up the same way on the other side. Drop that right knee down. Pick that left one up. Remember, that foot is jutted out just a little bit in front of that knee, so it's not directly below, just a little bit forward. Remember that back toe's tucked here. I want to keep my body upright, pushing those hips down towards that front heel, driving that knee over those toes. Remember, back toes tucked. We're going to flow into that runner stretch. That front foot will roll up onto the heel here. Pause at each end of that range of motion here. Control your breathing. There we go. Keep working here. Keep working. A couple more reps. All right, one more rep here. Push those hips down and forward. We're going to hold here just for a minute. Not a literal minute, but just for a moment. Shift that weight back. Same thing here. We're going to pause at the end of this range of motion just for a moment, a little longer than we have been. Reach for those toes. If you can get there, pull on them. That calf and hamstring should be stretched out. They might be yelling at you a little bit right now. Okay, shift that weight back to a neutral position. I'm going to go ahead and switch which side I'm kneeling. We're going to stay kneeling here. We're really going to work on opening the hips up now. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and just rotate to where I'm facing the camera here. Again, knee out in front. My right knee's out in front. Right foot placed below the right knee, down knee placed below the hips. Now what I want to do is push this knee out as far past my toes as I can while keeping my foot fully planted to the floor, all right? If you feel that heel start to rise up, you've gone too far, all right? Go as far as you can while leaving that foot planted fully to the floor. Hold for just a moment. Okay, come back up. We're going to angle it out slightly. So I'm going to say about a 40, 45 degree angled out. Same thing, foot below the knee and drive that knee out over those toes. So instead of lunging forward, we're lunging diagonally now. Again, leave that foot fully planted to the floor here. The adductors, the hips area should definitely be starting to feel this one here. All right, come back up to a neutral position. Now we're gonna open this bad boy up all the way here. So my left knee is down, facing forward. My right knee is up, facing out, foot below the knee. Push that knee out over those toes as far as you can. Leave that foot completely planted, and you want to be squared forward, your shoulders squared forward. Really, really pushing that hip flexor or adductor. Come back up. We're going to do that one more time, just that end one, all right? Push it back out there. Keep those hips squared forward, shoulders squared forward. Push that knee out over those toes. Come back up. Woo, that was a tough one. Drop that knee down. Set up, same thing on the other side, y'all. Okay. Foot directly below the knee, down knee directly below the hip. Keep that foot planted the whole time. All right, let's drive. There we go. Remember, this foot is staying planted. All right, come back up. That 40, 45 degree angle here, angle it out. Again, foot below the knee, Drive that knee out over those toes as far as you can, leaving that foot planted. Again, body staying up from the hips up is staying up right here. Come back up. Now open it up all the way. Ooh, you may find this a little tougher on one side than the other. That's normal. I'm definitely less mobile on my left side here. Get yourself set up. Knee under the foot under the knee. Drive those toes out. There we go. Okay, bring it back up. Nice deep breath. One more time. One more time there. There we go. Okay, release. Woo, okay. Now we're going to drop down to our butts here. We're going to sit down on the floor. Feet planted to the floor. I'm going to go ahead and drop both my knees to my left, okay? So I'm here. What I want to do is adjust what I want to do is adjust my legs to where my knee is pretty close to my heel but not quite touching, and I'm creating basically a 90-degree angle with both knees. I'm going to lean on my hand just for some support, and I'm really going to rock back and forth here, trying to open up those hips even more, all right? If you're a little more mobile than me, which is quite possible, you can sit up and do this. I'm definitely using my hands as support here. Trying to keep my glutes in contact with the ground while dropping those knees to the ground here. There we go. Couple more times back and forth here. Again, same as some of the other moves here, just pausing at the end of the ranges of motion here. And one more time, back. There we go. Okay, we're gonna stay seated here. This one's gonna be a little, I think, less difficult. We're gonna extend left leg straight forward. I'm gonna go ahead and cross my right leg over so my right foot is placed right outside of my left knee. All right, left elbow placed on my right knee, lean back on my right hand, really rotating. All right, so my hips are squared forward, my shoulders are rotating to the right here, using my arm, left arm, as a little bit of an assist to facilitate that rotation there. Okay, back to neutral. Drop that right leg down. Set it the same way on the left side. So left foot right on the outside of that right knee. Lean back on that left hand. Right elbow on that left knee and rotate. There we go. Release. We're going to go one more time. Back to the right or the opposite direction here. There we go. Oh, yeah. I definitely felt a little, my range of motion was a little more that time. Swap one more time to the other side. Okay, there we go. All right, we're gonna wrap up here with the last little bit of a twist here. We're gonna lay face down on our mat here. Ooh, I'm using my hands as support on either side of my body. Trying to keep my head nice and relaxed so my chin is resting on the floor. I'm gonna bend my knees here at 90 degrees together, and I'm just gonna try to drop my feet to the mat. I'm gonna roll back and forth here. You may see, like right here, you see my hip picking up off the floor. Really just a nice rotation here. Loosen up that back a little bit more. Keep breathing here. You may even feel a bit of a stretch in the shoulders here. I'm definitely feeling that. Okay, back to neutral. Pick it back up into a tabletop. Leave your hands on the mat or on the floor. Bring the feet up to the hands. Your knees are bent, your arms are straight down. Slowly straighten those legs out. Let the head and the shoulders hang. Legs completely straight, hands gliding from the floor up over our toes. Head and shoulders still hanging, hands gliding up the ankles, the shins, pushing the hips forward, hands over the knees, the quads, head and shoulders still hanging. Push those hips forward, hips all the way forward, roll the shoulders back, chin up. Nice deep breath. Release. And that's all I got for us for mobility today. Thank y'all for joining me. Hopefully help loosen you up a little bit, and I'll be seeing y'all next time.
Thank you, Chris.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chris.